A nation on edge. The people are demanding change, and a president who's been in power longer than most of his citizens have been alive. This isn't just another protest story, and this could be the moment Cameroon's silence finally breaks. For the first time in decades, the United Nations is openly calling for an investigation into election-related violence in Cameroon. A rare move that could reshape the country's political future and echo across Africa. Welcome to the Africa Voice TV, where Africa speaks for itself. Today we ask, is this truly Cameroon's turning point, or just another page in a long story of unbroken power? On October 12th, 2025, Cameroonians went to the polls for what was supposed to be another peaceful election. Days later, the Electoral Commission announced that President Paul Biya, now 92 years old and in power since 1982, had won yet again, securing just over 53% of the vote. But this time, something was different. The streets of Yaoundé, Douala and Bamenda filled with angry crowds chanting, "Enough is enough." The opposition called the results fraudulent, accusing authorities of manipulating voter lists and silencing dissent. The government's response? Tear gas, arrests and live rounds. Reports say at least 4 people were killed and hundreds detained. Then came the statement that surprised many. The United Nations Human Rights Office expressed deep concern over the excessive use of force and urged a thorough, impartial investigation into the killings. Normally, international observers tread lightly when it comes to long-standing African rulers. But this time, the UN refused to issue the usual congratulations. That silence spoke volumes. It sent a signal not only to Yaoundé, but to every government across the continent that the world is paying attention. Why is this a potential turning point for Cameroon? 3 reasons. First, generational change. Over 70% of Cameroonians are under 35. Most have never known another president. Their frustration isn't just about politics, it's about a future they feel has been stolen. Second, institutional fatigue. The same faces control the courts, the election board, and the army. But when the UN questions their credibility, cracks start to appear. Third, international pressure. Europe, the African Union, and human rights groups are now aligned in criticism. That's rare, and it creates diplomatic space for local reformers to push harder. In my view, Paul Biya may hold on for now, but the foundation of his power is weaker than ever before. This isn't just about one election, it's about the end of an era of silence. What happens next could define the next decade. The government has already increased military presence in protest-hit areas, while activists continue calling for accountability. The opposition wants the UN to monitor detentions and push for electoral reform. But whether the UN's investigation becomes real or just symbolic will depend on pressure from inside Cameroon. If young people, civil society and diaspora groups keep pushing, the world won't be able to look away. One thing is clear, Cameroonians are losing fear. And when fear fades, change becomes possible. Cameroon stands at a threshold, not yet free from its past, but no longer blind to its future. The UN's call is just a spark, but even sparks can light a fire. Thank you for watching the Africa Voice TV, where Africa speaks for itself. Do you think this is Cameroon's turning point or just another cycle of crisis? Tell us in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more African stories told by Africans, with truth, depth, and perspective.